Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the Kingzmen Court. I'm your host, Real Leo, and I have alongside me my two brothers, brethrens, friends, and comrades. Ross, Eli, what's up?
Wagwan.
Jet, what's up, man?
Wagwan.
Guan. Listen, tonight we're gonna do some reaction to some videos. Of course, I got a couple of videos that I want us to take a look at and just give our reaction and just talk as we go along. As we move through it, we're just gonna move through it and stop every once in a while and just give our input on it. This first video that I want to talk about, honestly, that we could react to, is a video with this situation with Anthony Edwards. He wants to pay 18 years worth of child support up front. That way he don't gotta pay it like monthly, like how they usually would do a monthly kind of like thing on, average wise, like, on any given day kind of status. Most men will pay, or women will pay child support monthly. So he's saying, listen, how about I just do this shit up front so I don't gotta worry about this no more. Like, I don't gotta worry about the up, down. Is it possible I could do a lump sum? So it's quite interesting, something to talk about. He is a superstar. He's a NBA player, and let's face it, he got the money to do it. The way I saw how child support is designed to help, I guess, measure out how much the person's going to pay based on their salary. Now, the funny thing about that is his salary could change at any point. He can get more money, or he can go less. But either way, he wanted to make sure he covered 18 years of it in case he don't become famous anymore. I'm thinking that's what he's thinking. What you think about it, y'all?
Man, me personally, I think the child support stuff needs to be handled between the two parties. Obviously, that'll never happen in the country we live in. But
Right.
yes, I agree. Like, who knows? At any given moment, he can have a catastrophic. I don't want to speak that on that man's life, but let's face it, injuries happen. Like,
Yeah.
shoot,
Yeah.
I see. Shoot, why? I mean, why not allow him to do that? And I'm sure that's a unique situation for the powers that be, who's ever in
Yeah.
charge of him doing that.
Yeah, I find it pretty interesting too. What you think, Jet?
I feel like it's a smarter choice, but also in the same breath, it's like from his point of view, it's like I don't have to worry about it no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, I'm gonna be a father regardless. We already know what the situation is. You know what I'm saying? She taking it for the money. So like, here you go. Like, here's the whole 18. Like, basically, I don't want to hear it from you. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be a father to
Yeah.
my child. They're your bread. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Now, even if they don't let him, you know what I'm saying, do it and full, he could still just put it into an account, you know what I'm saying, and just let the money pull from there.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. I mean, I think he could do that. I mean, if I had the money, I'll do it too. I would do
Hell,
it too.
it's a better option, bro.
I think
You ain't
so.
got nothing to worry about.
You don't got anything to worry about in case anything happens, because like Eli said, you can go through an injury. You go through an injury, some people don't bounce back, man. And if they don't bounce back, they still requiring this person to pay a certain amount of money.
That's a fact, bro.
But let's get into this video. Let's take a look at it and see, mind through it and get a perspective. Shout out to Ches. I think his name's Chised. He has a YouTube channel. You can go check it out. He always covers some content. Very great content. This one right here is going to be a good one. All right, let's get into it.
Did you hear the rumor that NBA star Anthony Edwards told a judge that he wanted to pay 18 years of child support up front because he didn't want to have nothing to do with his baby mama or their child? This is 38-year-old Aisha Howard, a brand ambassador who gave birth to a daughter named Aubrey.
And adult entertainer. A brand ambassador and adult entertainer.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
October of 2024. And this is Anthony Edwards. He plays ball for the Minnesota Wolves. And apparently and allegedly, he got 3 different women pregnant last year. He met Aisha in Georgia, and after he got her pregnant, she sent him a text message letting him know that he was gonna be a father.
Hold on. Is that true? Is that true? Did he really get 3 women pregnant last year? Is that true? Is that proven? I mean, she's saying allegedly, probably to protect herself from. Hold on, man. Let's talk to Miss Coffee. That's insane. I actually did not know that. If it's a fact, Miss Coffee, did Anthony Edwards get 3 women pregnant last year, 2024? If that's true, that's the craziest thing I think I've heard coming out of sports. Outside of that Xavier Worthy situation, that was pretty wild too. 3 women pregnant in 1 year is an astonishing level of recklessness.
Yo, let's be honest here. That's reckless. I don't care what anybody say, bro.
Hey man, look.
Yo.
And bro, what y'all think? I do not think that that's the first. I think that's common in the sports world.
It is. Absolutely.
Like,
absolutely. That's
there's some reckless guys out here.
The sick part is that's common in the regular world.
Facts. That's true too.
Yeah.
That's true too. I mean, they be going strong in the paint. You know, there's nothing holding them back. So what do you do when you have a situation like that? You know, when you have a situation where a athlete such as him that have the money and get these women pregnant and saying they don't want to have nothing to do with the child, he just want to give you your check and just keep it moving. What do you think about that? Do you think that's a good thing, or do you think it's a bad thing that he's doing that?
Listen, I'm big on listen. If I caused it, then I gotta own up to it and man up and take care of my business. That's me.
Indeed. What do you think, Jet?
I agree with E on that, but in the same, I'm not gonna say it's good or bad, because it's like, if we really looking at the full spectrum of this, like, once she found out she was pregnant, we can kind of guess what her mindset was. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
now look, this is why I always I'm gonna be naming these episodes the gender war, because you gotta be we in this situation, with anytime we talk about these things, we gotta be like transparent and upfront and just give our honest opinion. Like, I agree with both of you guys, you know what I'm saying? And I hear what you're saying, Jet. You gotta see it on you gotta see on both sides in a sense, you know. But he's given I did, in my personal opinion, is that the man is contributing to broken homes. You understand what I mean by that?
yeah.
Like, the homes are broken. These 3 women that he got pregnant, if he got 3 women pregnant, he's not going to be a father to. I don't think he's going to be a father to all 3. In fact, he's going to probably do exactly what this lady just said, allegedly, right? That he's going to probably be just giving them the pay for the whole 18 years, and then, you know, he has nothing to do or nothing to have any say-sos or nothing with the child. He's just giving up his rights, period. That contributes to a broken home, because now this child is growing up without a father figure such as him, and learning how to do things, if it's a girl or a guy. Because if it's a guy, it's detrimental, because you do need a man to teach a young man how to become a man, right? But for a young lady, that's dangerous too, because she doesn't know how to identify a man, especially a man who's supposed to be her first love, and that's her father. So, you know, you understand what I'm saying, guys?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
That's deep. That's deep, man.
Yeah. But then
that's deep.
Think about it. People would say, though, hey, it's not like you heard. He said in the beginning. The gentleman said in the beginning, this girl is a porn star, right? Like, I don't know how much of a mother figure she's gonna be, but at the same time, you know, both parties gotta have some kind of accountability in this sense. For one, she didn't have to give this nigga access at all. Right or wrong? She could easily say no. But she did
That's a
because of
fact.
his celebrity status. And he's an opportunist, so he took the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? And that here it is. But I think
That's
the
why that's why I couldn't say if it's a good or bad situation, because it's like at the end of the day, lust is the overall result of this situation,
right.
and
Right.
it's not even just at I guess the celebrity level. Like, bro, that's everyday shit now. You know what I'm saying?
It is.
And
It
it's to a
is.
point where like people just gotta realize, bro, people gotta start seeing the sacredness in sex again. Because at the end of the day, it's like the people that's against the abortion laws, like you couldn't even need an abortion if you value your body and you know what I'm saying, you really wasn't out here just having sex to be having it.
Right. You're supposed to keep it as a sacred thing, treat it as such,
I
treat
feel
it
like
as
when you create life, it should never be seen as a mistake.
no.
Oof.
Absolutely not. I agree
Yeah,
with that,
man.
man. I
Yeah,
agree with
man.
that.
Yeah,
All right, let's
man.
get back to it, guys. Let's get back to it.
In 2024, NBA star Anthony Edwards reportedly fathered 3 children with 3 different women, page 6. September 2023, a woman named Daja gave birth to a daughter named Aris. Page 6. October 2023, a woman identified as Ali D welcomed a son named Amir. Page 6. Late 2023, Edwards' girlfriend Shannon Jackson gave birth to their daughter Aislinn. Page 6+4, page 6+4, the Shade Room +4. Additionally, in October 2024, Aisha Howard, also known as Little Miss Golden, and the ex-girlfriend of rapper Lil Baby, gave birth to a daughter named Aubrey Summers.
Oh, this is financial self-deletion. This is recklessness on an I can't even talk, on an unprecedented level. How? I thought it was like 2 within the span of a few years. I wasn't really following this story as closely. How?
Anthony immediately told her to have an abortion, and she said she didn't want to do it because she had just had an abortion 2 years ago and she regretted it. So he told her that child gonna be fatherless, and then he blocked her on every social media platform to let her know he was serious. He did not want a child with her. So she went through the entire pregnancy alone, and right before she gave birth, she moved to California and had the baby named Aubrey in a California hospital. As soon as she gave birth, she filed a paternity lawsuit in California asking for Anthony to be added to the birth certificate and for him to reimburse her for all of the costs associated with her pregnancy and to establish child support to support her and the child for the duration of the child's childhood.
Now, now, guys, we both know, all 3 of us know. I hope all 3 of us saw the come up in this whole situation just now.
Man, I said it.
To L.A. That's all I'm gonna tell you right there. Once you hear L.A., the price it is to live in L.A., then you
Bro,
know
I said it in the beginning. That's why I said
it was a come up.
we can all guess her mindset when she found out she was pregnant. Again, there it go. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to see the details to see that shit coming.
That's dangerous on, like you said, recklessness. Like that's this is wild, bro. But it's like you said earlier, Leo. It's really sad though. You know what I mean? Because you just can't help but think about. We all fathers here. You can't help but think about the child. That's the first thing I think about.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, man. But go ahead. I don't want to go ahead and get too deep.
No, it's all good. Let's get back into it.
Straight robbery. She knew what she was doing. Old lady, by the way.
They took a DNA test and Anthony was the father. He said, that's okay, I'm the father, but I don't want visitation rights or custody.
I mean older than him. I don't mean that she wouldn't be identified as old right now. I mean older lady than him. A lot older.
He can have her. The only thing Anthony asked for was for child support to be determined in Georgia because he believed Aisha moved to California so that she can get a bigger child support payment out of him.
I
So
remember
he
that.
filed a separate paternity lawsuit in Georgia and waited. And lo and behold, the California judge agreed with Anthony and determined that the Georgia judge will preside over the child support case. And then rumors began circulating that Anthony asked to pay the entire 18 years of child support up front because he don't want to have nothing to do with Aisha. Even though there's absolutely no evidence that he really said that, people are angry and saying, dang, he must seriously hate her and that child.
Okay. Okay. There are a lot of people who are giving their take about him asking to pay all the child support up front. People, of course, understand the position he's in. He obviously has made yet another horrible decision in his life. And him saying, hey, I'm not going to be in this child's life. I'm not going to be a father to that child, was cemented by him proposing or requesting that he pays the child support all at once.
If you're out walking daily and you're not seeing the results,
So-
it's really pretty.
What do you think about that, y'all?
Man,
All at once. He throwing the whole bag in there. He said, I don't even want to deal with this like on a every month to month basis. I'm throwing the whole bag while I'm in my prime because you know he ain't gonna be in his prime forever.
yeah. I'm still stuck, bro.
If you was in that situation, which you're not, but if you was in that situation, would you think it'd make more sense to throw the whole bag in there and you know just have it all like every month this child's getting their pay every month is just he threw the whole 18 years according to the judge he threw the whole bag in there for a whole 18 years. You don't have to deal with her or nothing like that because he knows she wants that's a come up for her. She don't gotta do shit at all, not even work, to be honest with you. Some women do that, and it's dumb that they do that because after when the checks stop, you should have been had a whole empire built with the money you making off of him. I don't know, but they don't, so they go broke. And then they want to try to hit him up for a little extra whatever, but it don't work.
Bro. Man, with child support, listen, I think it should be a law that the woman should still have to have an income. Because I'm like I said, bro, and I say that because I'm all for the child, man. Like I was that kid. You know what I mean? Like I was that child. But listen, it's for the child. It shouldn't have anything to do with the respectfully. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I agree,
This is
man.
for the kid. And most kids get taken advantage of in these situations.
They do.
You know. So
They get thrown in the mix.
yeah, man. Jet, what you think, bro? This is I ain't never heard nothing like this. This is wild.
I mean, I personally feel they should make a law because if a father's trying to be in their child's life,
Mm-hmm.
you should automatically grant that father joint custody.
But he don't want.
And that father was, and that, no, I'm saying, like for the fathers that do, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And for the fathers that don't, if he's willing to pay, you know what I'm saying, in full and cut his rights to the child, again, you can't, they say a woman, that's her body, she make her own decision, and she made her own decision. He told her from jump, I don't want a child with you.
Let me ask you something. I want to ask you something, Jet.
What's up?
What do you say to guys that want to have the baby, but the women don't want to have the baby? Should she have the baby and relinquish her rights, or should she get an abortion?
if a man wants the baby, I'ma always say, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say I'm against abortion, but I feel like, again, if you create a life, you should be ready to take care of that life and that responsibility.
I agree. So I believe when women think when you hear the saying my body my choice, I don't agree with the my body my choice to a degree. Meaning that if you decided to have a child willingly with somebody, not forcefully, willingly, if
Yeah,
you willingly have a child with the person and you pop up pregnant, you shouldn't it shouldn't just be left up to you only to have this child, because it's not only your child, it's the father's child as well. So I believe that if
yeah,
you don't want to have the baby, you still go through the term and you give up the baby to the father and you relinquish the rights if he wants the baby. Now if he doesn't, that's where you go to the court system and you he agreed that he wanted to have this child. So then it will be, required of him to take that responsibility. But if not, and he just wants a child, then you relinquish your rights, and you don't have to worry about killing the baby. You understand? Like that to me, I feel that's where that my body my choice thing doesn't prosper. Now, as far as my body my choice, like if they want to forcefully impregnate you, then it's her body her choice at that point, because this is by force. This is not a consent or willingly she's opening herself up to you. You know what I mean?
I
Yeah.
understand where people, get the idea from. It's it's an accountability thing, bro. Like, end of the day, you allowing people to be like, "Oh, we made a mistake." Like I feel like that's not something you make a mistake on, bro. Like
That's a big mistake.
that's like, yeah, like that's not no small ass shit. That's like no, you know what I'm saying? No small gesture, bro. You're creating a life, like, bro. That's beyond physical. Like that's spiritual, bro. That is deep. Like, and people don't understand this shit because the way the society is, they got
Hmm.
people thinking that sex is just this physical activity, bro, that feels good, and it's not. It's way fucking deeper than that shit, bro.
It is deep.
And
Like,
I honestly get sick, bro, when I hear situations like this, because it's like, bro, she's not thinking nothing about her child. Like, this is a come up to her, right? And I know for a fact, because why, as a mother, why would you sit there and birth a child knowing that child's father is not gonna be there?
Hmm.
You can't love that child. I'm sorry.
No, you
You know what
can't.
I'm saying?
You can't.
And
And
if it
that's.
is the case, and if
Hmm.
it is the case where you do, you know what I'm saying, you do birth a child, it's like, take it and make sure your child have a good life. Don't be out here spending that money on yourself, because it's not for you. That money wasn't for you. That money was for your child. I feel like a lot of women be getting child support from higher income men,
Hmm.
celebrities, actors, all that shit, and they be doing that shit to live a better life, bro. Not even
Yeah.
for their kids, for themselves. And that shit is
Yeah.
selfish as hell.
It is. It's very selfish. And it does lead back to their upbringing. How were they raised? Were they raised to be that selfish, or were they raised to be the type
Man,
of
social
want
media
help?
got these motherfuckers twisted, bro.
You think it's social media only?
And you gotta realize when I say social media, I'm talking it's all linked together, bro. TV, social media, talk shows, all of that shit is all in one. Because
society
it's,
as a whole.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's desensitizing people to keep a chaotic environment so that they can continue to control. Like that's the easiest way. And people doing a hell of a job of keeping the world entertained.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. They
You
are
got
doing a
people
hell of
who
a
get a
job.
kick. You got people who get a kick out of these type of situations who think this is nothing. Just like watching To them, it's just like watching a reality TV show, bro. You know what I'm saying? Not even realizing that's that man life in real life. You know what I'm saying? That's that woman's life in real life, bro. That's the child that has to grow up without a parent because of two
Irresponsible
idiotic,
decision.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, bro, like two irresponsible adults. You know what I'm saying? Then that child has to grow up without the complete guidance it needs, complete love it needs. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
That's deep, boy.
Yeah,
That's deep, man.
that's the thing, man. That's it's deep for real, but it happens all the time in our community. Our community goes through this a lot. I'm not saying it don't happen in other communities, but our community suffer a lot from it because we got the highest rate of single motherhood, you know, and it's a lot of irresponsible decisions prior to them women becoming women and now becoming baby mothers. It's a lot. It's like generational, you know, and yeah, social media does have a role to play in it, guys. We
Whew.
can't even front on that, you know. And indoctrination, obviously, you know, because there's a type of a matriarch kind of like system that's being like heavily influenced on our community, in our community as Black folks, that has been allowing things to happen. Social media wouldn't be so big in the Black community if there were more men in the house, because we bring structure. We tell you to put the phone down and take your ass to bed. We give law and order. You have one parent in the household. I'm not saying if it was just a father raising a child, you might not get the same result, but it's less likely because men are more disciplinarians. With women is not on them to be the disciplinarian. That's not their job. It's our job.
And I agree 100% with what you're saying.
Hmm.
I feel like a lot of young Black men need that guidance themselves, bro, because they be in the phones right with the kids.
Hmm.
Like this younger generation of adults, bro. That's it's
Well, that's what I'm saying. You gotta think about who they was raised by. A lot of these men, everybody knows somebody that's that. And when I say everybody, I really mean everybody knows somebody that grew up in a single family household. You know,
yeah,
in our community, everybody knows somebody. So that means it's too high. We're not accustomed to knowing that, oh, this man grew up with a mother and a father, or this woman grew up with a mother and a father. It's mostly just one, and that's because of our more emotional, impulsive decisions that we make, uh, when we get together and not understand that when you have a child with someone, now it's called, it's like a soft version of saying you're married without legally saying you're married, because you're binded together. And because you're binded together, you're supposed to go through the storm together. You understand? And that means it's through thick and thin, sickness and health, until death do you part. It don't have to be through a church. It don't gotta be through none of that. That's just how life is, because guess what? You just gave birth to legacy. So now you gave birth to
yeah.
legacy, you gotta cultivate what you seed. What you planted, you gotta cultivate it. You know what I'm saying? And I
Uh,
think that's the missing ingredient that we have. But remember, we don't have a patriarch in our as far as Black men go in our
so
nation. There's not a patriarch sitting.
I gotta
Yeah, there's
ask
a
you a
matriarch.
question, Leo.
Yeah.
At what point do you feel the Black community lost that awareness? Because I feel like the lack of awareness is why people are choosing, you know what I'm saying, to
Yeah.
establish these broken homes. At what point? Because it had to have happened before social media because
It did.
our parents, you know what I'm saying, grew up in that era.
It did.
So at what point, like what influenced that? That's what I'm really like trying to figure that out. Like people talk about that old love, you know what I'm saying, that great grandpa, grandma love, you know what I'm saying. At what point did that switch, you know what I'm saying, and we start turning on each other as a culture, as
We start.
a community of people?
We started. I'm glad you asked that question. That's a great question, man.
Because
Um,
you're a little, you know what I'm saying, you been around a little bit longer than, you know what I'm saying, me and E.
right. I'm glad you asked that question, though, bro. The reason why, when it started is the question, right? So when it started exactly was right after, uh, something. I would say after the Industrial Revolution, when I'll
Okay.
go a little further down than that because we were actually doing our thing. I would say like around shortly after John F. Kennedy died, when Lyndon B. Johnson came into place. Lyndon B. Johnson was the president that came up after they won off John F. Kennedy, right? At that
Okay.
time, John F. Kennedy was a Democratic president, and he was for family. They were more conservative in a sense. Conservative people are more for family, right? But Lyndon B. Johnson funneled, I wouldn't say funneled, but he poured a lot of money into welfare. And when he poured the money into welfare, they also poured an indoctrination into the minds of black folks when it came to welfare by going after our women and making our women marry into the system. And when they married into the system, they married welfare, meaning they married Big Daddy government. And Big Daddy government told them the requirement is no man is supposed to be in the house, but we will take care of you and your kids. So it gave women an easy way out. Now you got to remember, now this is fresh off of women getting their independency, their rights. You know what I mean? And they were giving women a lot of different indoctrination as far as we're gonna come back. We're gonna come back to this. Let me just bring the screen up. A lot of they gave them
That
a
had to
lot
been
of
like that had to been like late 1960s, mid
correct.
1970s.
Yeah, yeah.
So
But
basically, when they
I would
disbanded
say
the black,
earlier. That's when they dismantled the black family. Around that
yeah,
time, remember they were still using drugs
And
and
then they
things
bought
like that,
crack.
right? But
You did.
Lyndon B. Johnson introduced welfare remember now, don't think welfare is not just campaigned by black folks. There's a lot more white people on welfare than there is black folks. But it affected our community because it affected our women mostly, right? And
yeah,
because it affected our women mostly, our women grew with this. They started feeding them this narrative that they don't need no men. And who did that was the feminists that were white women that were giving black women this narrative that they don't need black men. They just need to marry into the system. And a lot of black women went into welfare. And guess what? When you go into welfare, you don't have a man in the house. You know what you lose? You lose structure. You lose discipline. You lose all the things that a man come with because of his nature, right? Now a woman is being now these women that are going into these positions are being forced to play two roles, and they can only play one role. But they were being fed a narrative that they could play two roles, mom and dad. You ever heard that saying? Anybody in the hood ever heard that saying? That mom used to say, "Forget Father's Day. I'm mom and dad." Anybody ever heard that?
yeah,
Well, that was a
yeah.
false narrative that was being fed to us because guess what? A mother can't be a father at all. Never on no day,
The
given day on the
biggest,
planet. That's the biggest
and
lie ever
people,
told.
a lot of
And
people may disagree with that,
mhm,
but
it's
I
I don't
feel
okay.
like
disagree. That's a fact.
It's okay.
equality itself is what fucked it up.
That's
Cause
what I'm saying. So you gotta think now. Not only are they telling them that they don't need us, but they say they gave them this narrative that they could do what we do, and sometimes they could do better, and that's not how it works because everybody has a position in life, and we lost our roles and we lost our way. So if you want to go back to that question, in a very that's when the divide in the black community started, was when welfare kicked into full gear.
yeah,
The drugs did a number two. Absolutely, the drugs played a role, of course, right? But we want to focus on welfare because welfare is what caused the most damage. Because to this very day, a lot of our people are on welfare. You understand? And they're on welfare, and they're young. They're like 18. They fresh off of they're living off of their mom's welfare, and they just set themselves up.
Grandfathered in.
Yeah, and guess what? That one guy who people look at as, you know, the Pookie of the hood or whatever the case. I'm just giving an example, right? That one guy is impregnating 3 or 4 women. He's doing more than what actual men do. Actual man, he has his family and he raises his family. Meanwhile, you got this guy over here. He's impregnating 3 or 4 women in the hood, and they like he's doing an Anthony Edwards, but like you said, Jet, on a lower scale, on an average man scale. He's getting 3 women pregnant in the hood, and they all know each other. think about the damages that's being done right now to the children growing up in that environment, knowing that he's not even going to play a dad role in their life. And that systemically just kept going on throughout the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s, and the
I'm about to
90s,
run in the store,
and
Brady.
the thousands. You know what I mean? So he's going to come back. So that's what happened, bro. And that's answering his question right there.
Man, bro, it's so deep. And like I said earlier, man, it irks me, man. Like when we talk about stuff and I hear stuff like this because
Mm-hmm.
I know what that trauma feels like. I know what that does. Like,
Mm-hmm.
bro, that is deep. It's so deeply rooted. And people go throughout their whole lives not understanding why am I like this? Why am I so hateful? Why do I have these things happening to me? And it's like, yo, I had a void that was just dormant and missing all this time. And there's so much work you got to do to 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 really heal from that, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I give thanks, you know, that I did, but there's so many people that never do.
No,
And then
absolutely.
and then if they have some on their own, it's like, well, they don't know what a father looks like, so they just repeat that cycle.
Well, you know that's the tough part, right? Because I was limited to access to my father. You know, we had a limited access to each other. Um, I could easily put the responsibility on my mom, but I'm not going to only put it on her. But I would give her majority of it because she grew up in a matriarch system. So all she knew was how to be a to deal from a matriarch standpoint. She never really got to witness um, what it was like to actually respect the authority of a man if he's the head of the household, which biblically speaking, that's how life works, right? But it affected me, like it affected any guy growing up that don't have a father in his life. You going into a position that you have no knowledge of. That's like taking you that played in the league, taking you and just like you ain't never. I think we had this discussion before. You ain't never played football in your life, but you're now required to play football because you're old enough.
Yeah.
You never trained for it. Nobody never coached you.
That's how war.
Nobody never put you in no kind of mock drill, no nothing. You ain't never had no practice, no nothing. They just say, no, you're an NFL player. Just throw your ass right in the league. You think
It's
you
like
you
when
think
guys
you
got
survive?
heck no, and that's just like how guys was getting drafted into the war. It's no different than that.
No different. You gotta adapt.
Yeah,
And you
bro.
gotta make
Like
the best decisions that you have to make.
that's tough, boy. That was a hell of a comparison there, man. Goodness.
Yeah, it's one of them things where you're hoping as a man you're making the best decision because this is definitely a gender war, and what I mean by that is like there is, I know Anthony Mackie is an actor, right? Like
Yeah,
you heard of him, right? He's the one that plays Captain America now.
yeah. That was
Black
yeah.
guy. I think we did something on that, right?
We did.
The last episode, and I'll say it again. Anthony Mackie, think about it. He's talking about the emasculation of the black man or men in general. Honestly, it don't even matter what race you are in America, right? That has a lot to do with where we are today and why we struggle because the emasculation comes from the fact that we don't have a patriarch system in our community.
Yes,
There's none. And now that you got Trump back in office, all Trump is bringing is masculinity. He's getting rid of a lot of shit that was emasculating men by the second. So much so that the rest of the world was getting ready to just act stupid, like there ain't no men in America anymore, and that's a lie. You know what I mean? We live in America. We here. We men. You know what I mean? So
men,
you know what I mean?
men.
So and we have to play that role because guess what? We were shortchanged. Remember, we were shortchanged coming up that didn't have the knowledge, but now we know better. We got a lot of access to information. We speak to each other. We're more involved with each other as men. Whereof before, they had us separated. And what they would tell us to do. They'll tell us, yo, you need to have a big brother convention or have a mentor or have a million man march. And brothers do it. They do it with no problem because guess what? As a black man talking to another black man, I don't mind telling you if you're wrong about something. I don't mind giving you information because we're congregating as brothers to build each other to become better. But what I notice with women, and any woman could tell you, because my wife say it all the time, women have a hard time checking each other. And it's crazy, right? Because you would think they're more logical to think, but they're not more logical to think about conversating and checking each other on certain issues, because it would turn into a cat fight, because women in all actuality in today's time don't like each other. They pretend that they do, but they really don't. You understand? Like it's crazy because they don't hold each other accountable like men will hold each other accountable. And you will more so be scared to hold another man accountable if you're another man, because you're thinking to yourself, this could go left or right. Either one of us could get killed. I could kill you or you can kill me. But we know that, and we have that innate nature. So therefore, we know we still got to come to this conclusion and have this conversation, because guess what? Wars and peace talks is done by men. So we have that capability. But I believe with women, they lack that capability because that's not in their nature for them to be ready for combat in case something pop off. Like if I check you on something and you don't like it and you're ready to pop off, I got to be ready for that, right? But that's not in women's nature. Women don't come with that nature that they have to be ready to fight or ready to defend. So it kind of puts a little block in their mind for them to actually hold each other accountable. If you see if a black woman see another black woman acting like she don't got no goddamn sense and not letting her husband be a husband or not letting her son become a man. Like, you know, they're scared to tell each other these things. We're off with men. Even if we have fear, we still got to say something because we want to let the other man know that, listen, we either got to come to a conclusion or some kind of peace or there's going to be war.
Yeah, man.
You know, and that's not the same thing with women. Now, you ain't never heard of a million women march. You may never hear of a million women march. It would be nice because now you got women teaching other women etiquette, morals, respect. Like the other day, you heard of Felicia Rashad, right? You know, the Claire Huxtable. You know what I'm saying? Like one of the most beautiful women in the world, and still beautiful at her age. She's beautiful, man. You know, and she's elegant. That woman can go into any environment,
command the room too.
And I guarantee you, her godliness, as far as the goddess in her or the empress in her, you know, she can shine. She can actually command a presence in the room amongst women, right? Some of the women of today can't do that. They can't even even the things they wear. They can't even step into certain rooms that I know that Felicia Rashad could get into. And none of them, when Felicia Rashad was younger, could hold a candle next to her because she was drop dead gorgeous when she was younger. Yeah. And yes, she had husbands and stuff like that. We don't know what the issues are. We hope it wasn't a situation where she was being a modern woman, but she plays this traditional kind of role because she was Claire Huxtable. We don't know. But what we can say is when she presents herself to the public, you don't see, oh, she's a new age modern chick and I'm all independent, this, that, and the other. Nah, she don't do that. The other day they was trashing her online because she was on the Breakfast Club and she just saying, you know, yo, young queens, hold yourself, you know, don't be out here wearing just strings of clothing. Put some clothes on you know, like. And
they clowning her for that?
And they mad at her, telling her, oh, you know, why she dressing, why they worried about how she dresses and this, that, and the. But it was crazy because, you know, with Felicia Rashad, as women, you should just shut the hell up, grab a pen and paper. Sit down and listen to her talk.
It's like back in the day. It's like back in the day when Maya Angelou used to speak. Like, bro, shut up. Like,
and just listen. Grab a pen and paper and be ready to ask questions.
But that's what's wrong with society as a whole now. Like, social media, you know, which everyone should have a voice. Everyone has a voice and everyone should be heard. But there's a time and place for everything. Like, real talk. Like, humble yourself. And that's the thing. People don't have respect for themselves first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the culprit. If you don't respect yourself, you're not gonna respect no one else, let alone Felicia Rashad, a modest looking woman, coming and dropping knowledge. These folks don't care about that.
That's crazy.
White, black, man or woman. It's wild, bro. It's wild.
It's but you see that's the thing. Like where we're trying to come to a medium at is find out where the root cause of the problem. But the root cause of the problem don't want to hold itself accountable. You understand? So of course we're going to keep saying men and men, but those men were raised by women too. Those same men we're talking about were raised by women. So unfortunately, and that's just the reality. I was raised by women, so I'm not gonna front here and act like, you know what I'm saying? Like well, because I was raised by a woman, I can't admit it. No, I'm gonna admit this is the problem right here. You understand? Like I can admit that, and I don't feel no way about it. I'm not offended by it or nothing like that because I know it's a fact that when you have nothing but women raising men and women by themselves, it creates a disaster for future context. It just creates a disaster, and it's about bringing down the narcissism and understanding that you got to not make it all about you. You got to make it about y'all. You understand? And I think that's what happened. A lot of these girls today are growing up to become women that are very selfish, and they don't feel like they got to give anything or no kind of leadway to a man or compromise with a man in order to live with one and create a family with one. Because let's face it, we do need each other. You need your wife and your wife needs you, right?
Yes, I.
We can't sit here and front like, oh, I don't need no man is running. I don't know too many men running around here talking about I don't need a woman. I don't need women. We don't need no women. We don't need women. We can do it all by ourselves. Ain't no man out here saying that. And if he is, then you gotta really, you gotta give him that look like
light bulb, ding. Yeah, bro. I don't know.
But
yeah,
no man is running around here doing that. And because, you got women running around here doing that, mostly in our community, it's a problem. And feminism has a big role to do with that. A lot of people are upset that when you call feminism for what it is, but feminism kind of destroyed the fabric of America in a sense. It did. Because look at the fight we're having right now. They're including that with civil rights. They're including it with a whole lot of other things that is affecting just our progress as a people. Because let's be honest, cut the cake now, we're at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? And in order for us to get to the top, we got to figure out what the problem is. We know something is not working that's being done for a very long time, and that's that single motherhood. We know that for a fact. So we know we could sit here and blame men all day long, but men ain't out here just raping women. Women are actually given access to they're giving these men access to their wombs. You understand? And if they're doing that, what kind of education and what kind of knowledge are they being given by their parent or parents?
And what are they going to give to their child?
What kind of ingredient they going to give to their child? They don't got no knowledge on that. Like I said, you're being thrown into the NFL and you haven't played a day in your life. Nobody never coached you. You had a coach, but the coach don't know how to coach either because they weren't coached. So that's pretty much what's going on right now with us. And when we call it what it is like the most sensitive, and of course you gotta expect that women are not supposed to. They're supposed to be emotional on a lot of ends because they come with that's a natural part of them. They come with that in their body. You understand? So because they come with that, you gotta expect for them to push back in a sense where they're gonna be more, how you say it, like more antsy about it or more impulsive about their response. Feel me?
Yeah, but what do you think about the women that don't do that?
As far as what?
As far as looking at it and saying, you know what, I agree with this brother.
As far as what? Like what would they agree with on?
No, I'm saying like there wouldn't be any pushback with I kind of lost my train of thought. But as far as I completely overstand the fact that women are way more emotional than us. But you got women like
we are more logical.
Yes, for sure.
You got men. Men are supposed to be more logical and less emotional. We have emotions too because we're humans, but we're supposed to have less emotions and more logic. Excuse me, more logic and less emotions. Women are supposed to have more emotions and less logic. I mean, I'm not saying that this is just the way life is. I'm not saying that it's supposed to be that way. It's just that's the way it is.
Right.
We just got to identify that that's the way it is. The reason why the world is built the way it is in society is because of logic. Men using logic to build. You understand? Emotions come into play where women are the caretakers of that. They have more of that than us. Now, the thing that they struggle with sometimes is emotional control. Okay? Now, they struggle with emotional control because they didn't have any man to help them control their emotions. Just like for you as a man, if you had a father in your life, you'll be able to control certain emotions that your mom would not be able to control, because your mom can't handle you after a certain time frame. You understand? So you need men inside the household to control the emotions of not only their wife but their children, because he's called the regulator for a reason. He is called the protector, the provider, you name it all. He has to play that role because that's his role that he was deemed when he decided to have a family.
And you know what's sad? It's so many women out here that don't like that. It's like their ego get in the way. And I give thanks that I've never experienced that. But I hear a lot of conversation from brothers and, online or whatever. And it's like they're getting pushback from their woman because he wants to have his home or in an orderly fashion, right? Like, how can one sit there and say, "Oh, he's being controlling," or, I don't understand that, man. It's really wild, man. Because, like we were saying earlier, the society and the narrative that is being pushed in the movies, TV shows, the reality shows, the cartoons, what have you, it's like whenever a man raises his voice or whenever he says something in a way that's a leadership, it's like they look at him as, oh, well, he's ruling and he's trying to make it all about him.
No, it's
like,
not really.
Man.
When men do that, when men do this, it's not about him. See, men are doing
It's
this
not,
because it's about their family that they're protecting. Let me tell you something. If you have a bodyguard, you better listen to your bodyguard because he's guarding your body.
Yo, that is
You understand? You
Hey,
can't
what
tell
a-
your
what a
tell
whistle.
your bodyguard. You can't.
Where's
you
the
can't-
horn, bro? Where's the horn, bro?
You can't tell your bodyguard, right? Listen, you can't tell your bodyguard, I don't want to listen. I do what I want to do, and then expect to live. Don't make no sense. You understand? You're not letting him do his job. Instead, you're criticizing him for doing his job. That's stupid. That's just asinine and it's dumb. But what happened is that indoctrination. Remember, I told you, the 80s and 90s, they were just pumping in women's head. You're a 90s girl. You don't need no man. I'm independent. Blah blah blah. This, that, and the other. I could do it all by myself. I could do bad all by myself. Like it was a whole bunch of nonsense that was being fed throughout time. You understand? That led up to today where we have this problem. You understand? So yeah, they're gonna be triggered. You know why they're gonna be triggered? Because the women before them were already being taught, this malarkey. They're already being taught this independent driven kind of stuff where you don't need a man. Men are needed. Let me tell you something. Any woman saying they don't need a man, they're not thinking. In order for you to have every single thing around you, whether it be a car, whether it be a plane, whether it be a train, whether it be ships, whether it be the chair you're sitting on, the goddamn factory,
The makeup you wear.
you name
Comes from a
makeup you wear,
factory.
you name anything. A man built that. Excuse me, a man built that. And not only did the man build it, but the world that he built around it is so you could be comfortable in it. Remember I showed you that. Remember what I showed you last time. It's true. It's not fake. It's not. But of course you're gonna be triggered because in your mind you're so used to trauma. Trauma brings trigger.
Yeah, man, that's a fact. That's a bar there, bro. That's a bar, man. And like I said, you got all these women dealing with the trauma, man. It's so many.
Yep.
They got so much being thrown at them from each and every avenue, bro. And it's triggers daily, right? So what do? They go to Facebook, they call their girlfriends, and they vent. Next thing you know, it's a whole bunch of it's an outroar of I don't need no man.
The blind leading the blind leading the
Blind leading the blind. That's true, man.
Because, all right, so they have this thing going on right now where during the election season that just passed, they had a discussion about, especially in our community, who voted for Kamala Harris, right? Kamala Harris was supposed to be the first female president ever in the United States, right? But they were, they try to put a little bit of DEI in there and say it should be the first black woman president and all that.
Oh.
Even though it turned to find out she's not fully black, or she's not black at all, to be honest with you. But nevertheless, the blind leading the blind. Why is this, right? Because we all know she had nothing to present but a whole bunch of false narrative, a lot of gaslighting, and she had nothing but abortion to talk about. And I believe I forgot it was the other narrative that they were pushing: abortion and women's rights. What pissed me off about that is that out of all the races, the majority of people that voted for her, when it comes to every single race, was black people. 90-something% for black women, 70-something% for black men that voted for Kamala Harris, which was not worrying about what is going on in the world. We're about to go to World War III with Putin and goddamn Zelensky, but we're worrying about women's rights and abortion. We know abortion, who started abortion. We know the history behind abortion, and it wasn't a good one, right? We know that takes the life of a child, and we already know that population control is a real thing, right? So we know that whole abortion thing is a sketchy one. That Roe v. Wade, I think Roe versus v. Wade, or Roe v. Wade, right?
Roe v. Wade.
We know the story behind that, and we understand that it should be a state thing, not a federal thing. State meaning some states are very Christian. They don't believe in abortion. Let them have the right to not have abortion in their state. Other states do. If you really felt like the decision you made was a very good decision, and you have to stand up to your decision, in the state that don't do abortions, they're letting you know, like, you need to rethink this before you have a child. You understand? Like, before you lay down with a man, it's making you think. Because you know now, if you lay down with a man, you get pregnant, you can't get an abortion. You got to have this child. So it makes them think now marriage, or makes them think a different alternative. Instead of just saying, "Oh, I'm gonna have the child, and I'm just gonna have a baby daddy," or I'm just gonna just get rid of the child. I'm just gonna have sex and just get rid of it. You're not gonna think recklessly and impulsive. Now you got to think. But for the ones that do they are for abortion or whatever the case may be, that state, leave it up to them to do that. But when Kamala Harris talked about women's rights, it didn't make any sense to me, because women's rights was already granted to them decades ago. Okay?
What was she pushing that was different? I don't remember.
She didn't push anything different. Only thing that she was just trying to give was image, and that's it. She didn't have no legislation. She didn't have no laws. As a matter of fact, she was copying some of Trump's incentives, like no tax on tips and things like that. Trump was talking that. She started using his talking points. But the whole thing with women's rights, what bothered me is that they were trying to get rid of women's rights. Remember? when you put a trans woman into a woman's sport, I put it to you like this, right? This is what Kamala Harris was for. You have a daughter, right? You have a wonderful family. You have a beautiful daughter. Let's say your daughter wanted to run track, right? You put all this money, you and your wife put all this money and this energy into having your daughter run track. She becomes probably the best track runner in the damn state, right? And scouts are coming to her school. They want to see how she runs so they can see if hey, you could come to our college or you go to this person's college. It's up to you. We want to come see you. If you're as good as everybody say you are, we're here for you. And then you got this trans that comes in and plays the running game with her track and smokes her. Do you think that trans should be able to get the opportunities that was supposed to be given to the first place winner, which is your daughter? Now she's second place. Do you think she should get that?
Absolutely not.
Or he should get that, rather?
That's bullcrap.
So now, but then this is what they say, right? This is where they go wrong. This is what they say. Then they go and say that, oh, it's only 1%. It's only 1% of them. It's just 1%. No, that's not. If you look,
and then they say it like it's cool.
It's not cool on no scale. You're taking the rights away from women in their own spaces. That's like LeBron James saying he's identifying as a woman now and goes play for the WNBA. The nigga will probably score like about 900 points in one game.
That's a fact.
I'm just over exaggerating, but I know he's gonna hit over 100.
No, he would hit 100 a game.
You understand?
Like that's a fact.
Guarantee. He's smoking everybody on the court. Now, this is why I say this whole thing is bullshit, and she was pushing that. And a lot of our people voted for her to come in because they were Trump deranged. That shows that women are more emotional thinkers because they don't think logically in a situation like that. And men that are following the women are becoming just as emotional thinkers and not logical thinkers. Now, you have the 30% of men that voted for Trump and less than 10% of women that voted for Trump that were black, right? Those are the ones that were logically thinking to themselves that it made more sense to vote for these kind of laws as to those kind of laws because they probably had kids. And they know for a fact they don't want their daughter racing against no man. And they know for a fact they're not going to put their daughter up against a man in any sport. They know that. That's common sense. They know for a fact that when it comes to the men and women's bathroom, a man shouldn't be in a woman's bathroom changing his clothes and watching women change their clothes. Amen to that. But this is what they were pushing. So that's why I said, if you look on that side of the fence, you're going to see more matriarch-ish stuff going on. When you look on the other side of the fence, you're going to see more patriarch stuff going on. And a lot of people would tend to say, when men become men and they start talking like yourself, let's say you disagree with something and you're talking amongst a bunch of women and you disagree with something. It's not toxic. It's masculine. There's no such thing as toxic Medrin. There's no such thing as toxic femininity, and there's no such thing as toxic masculinity. Here's the real definition. I meant to say it this way. It's toxicity. That's it. Because toxicity don't have a gender. Anybody could be toxic. But
try to separate.
Masculine, right. When you're being masculine, you're being a man. When you're being feminine, you're being a woman. You understand? Like, you're holding that feminine posture, that composure, that swag, that elegance behind you, that respect that you command based on the love that you give. Men command respect, but we don't go off of the love. Men could care less about love. We more care about the respect. If you ask me, which one would I rather from anybody? I would rather respect than love, because respect lasts longer than love. Look it up. It does. Because your parents, you can have friends. As a matter of fact, your mom, your kids can get on your nerves. They say they can get on your nerves and tell you all kinds of shit like that. They don't like you and blah blah blah. They don't gotta like you. Hell, sometimes they don't even gotta love you. They can say I don't love you just to tick at your feelings. But one thing they got to do is respect you, bro.
Absolutely.
That's one thing that men actually thrive off of is respect.
Yeah, man.
You understand? That's the pride of a family is respect. What respect do you get as a man? Like, do people walk over you? Do you let your children walk over you? Do you let your wife walk over you? Do you let do you even disrespect yourself? Because the question is, do you have respect for yourself? Because that's where it starts. You don't got respect here. Ain't nobody gonna respect you out there. It's just, that's just hand in hand right there.
Nah, that's a
That's
fact.
what the problem is. When women get it, you're gonna have women that are, and even men, because there's men out there that they get triggered by some of the stuff men say, and you gotta think to yourself, nigga, you a man just like I am. But you gotta remember, if you're grown into it, you're grown up in the matriarch system.
I was just about to say it.
You gotta expect
Corporate.
reality. You gotta
man.
You appease it to them because you don't want to accept the masses. But men like myself and yourself, if you standing on business when it comes to being a man, a lot of that shit don't affect you. It goes right past you because guess what? You are in your chi. You're in the part of your manhood that you're supposed to be. You're standing, as they call it, 10 toes down on what you
Grounded in them principles.
They can't shake that. And
Rooted.
as long as you got the Most High and you got yourself in command, then you're good to go. What more else can you go? What more else can you do besides that? You're giving your all. Outside of that, you're giving your all.
There's nothing more.
There's nothing more you can give. You know what I mean? You're doing your job. The problem is, are both people doing the job? Like I went this past weekend to the Poconos, right? To spend time with the family members last week. Shout out to my family, my extended family. We had an okay time. It was like a weekend getaway, and it was husbands and wives and stuff like that, right? And a few like stragglers that are not married, but the majority of us was husband and wives. Bro, we sat in there, we had fun, and then we got into the conversation. They're gonna have a spousal conversation about men and women because we live in those times where it's up for question. So I asked my cousin, because she was talking and stuff about, I forgot what she was saying. So I just looked at her and I said, what would you rather? A happy house and happy spouse? No, I said, what would you rather? Happy wife, happy life, or a happy house, happy spouse? The room got quiet. Looked around. She looked around. My wife was ready. Like, listen. I hope you say happy house, happy spouse, because that's the right thing to say. Because as a woman, if you come off saying happy wife, happy life, you are as selfish as they come.
Yeah, that's yeah.
You just don't give a fuck about who you with if it's happy wife, happy life. So when you hear a man say that, that's comments of a simp.
Yeah, man.
That's a dead giveaway of a simp. If a man
That's
tells you,
deep.
happy wife, happy life. Like a happy wife, happy life. What happened to your happiness? Does it mean
I was just about to say that. What's up with you, bro? What about you?
Yeah.
What about you? You don't value yourself.
Trying to tell you.
Trying
to tell you.
And that's what a lot of that's that indoctrination. That's brainwashed.
Yeah, man.
You're literally brainwashed if you think that way.
Yo. Well, let's get back into this. We won't finish this out so we can keep my.
Let's do it.
I was expecting to be done within an hour, but let's get through this. I want to get through this joint. All right, let me play it.
Good.
Like, share,
Go by an
subscribe.
attorney.
Like, share, subscribe, everybody.
And I was really happy to find this because I know, and I've seen so many of these like child support cases. I know how child support works, not as a practitioner, but from the outside looking in. I've been, reporting on this type of content for a while now. Spoken to multiple attorneys. I had a lot of questions as to whether that was even possible at all. Anyways, let's check it out.
Anthony Edwards asking for his child support to be paid in one lump sum is not going to happen. I'm a divorce attorney in California, and one thing that people don't understand about child support and family law rules in general is that you can ask for anything. It doesn't mean that it's going to be granted. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Anthony Edwards got a lady pregnant. She moved to California and filed a paternity lawsuit against him and asked for child support for his baby. Allegedly, he got 3 women pregnant in 2024. And when this woman, Aisha, told him that she was going to have a baby and he was going to be a father, he told her that she should get rid of it and that he's not going to be involved in the child's life if she decides to have the baby. She still decided to have the baby, allegedly because she had already gotten rid of a child within the last 2 years and she regretted it. Anyway, she goes on to file this lawsuit in California, which she has every right to do because Anthony Edwards was determined to be the father, so therefore he is responsible for taking care of the baby. The reason why I said that that lump sum request is not going to happen is because the California laws do not allow for you to basically discharge child support in that way. You can't contract away child support, although he is paying. As he progresses in his career or as the child's need changes, child support can change. It doesn't just stay one set amount for the child's entire life unless the parents leave it that way. So if Aisha gets a child support amount and Anthony Edwards' income goes up, she can always take him back to court to get more child support from him.
And that's the part right there that I knew happens, is that child support sometimes fluctuates depending on the person's income potential. For example, if someone's earning more, the mother can go ask for more. And so if they leave room for that, and child support is something that cannot be protected by a prenuptial agreement, then she can always go and make a request. And that's what was confusing about, him requesting that one-time payment, right? Because as his income goes up, you can ask for increases.
If the child develops special needs or needs daycare costs included, she can take him back to court to get those things. You also can't really predict how much co-pays and things of that nature are going to be. So she would still have to take him back to court for things like that, because he would still be responsible for paying anything like co-pays, daycare costs, all the things, right? Now, Aisha can agree to accept child support paid in one lump sum, but that contract would be really, really hard to do because she will always be able to come back and say, you know what, that was not enough. When I agreed to this was below guideline child support. Now he's making more money. So I'm coming back to ask for the difference of what he should have been paying under this contract. You cannot contract child support away like they are trying to do. So I really want to know who his attorney is, because that's a wild motion to file. Aisha can definitely agree to it, but there's nothing really stopping her from bringing it back at a later time saying that was not enough. And
self-destructive behavior.
That's crazy.
An opportunist woman who looks and prays for men who are weak sexually, and a child, an innocent child, being brought into this situation who has no idea and can only hope that it has 2 loving parents. Truly unfortunate.
I grew up without a father. So let me preface this by saying I do not support, condone, or even understand the actions of a deadbeat. Also, as a father, I don't. However, this Anthony Edwards situation is giving deeper insight to men are not going, especially men with money, if they can, are not going for that whole my choices end at intercourse nonsense.
Right.
Anthony Edwards, let me not put this on the wrong person. Anthony Edwards has decided that he not only doesn't want parental rights, but he also wants to pay his child support in one lump sum of 216 months. That's 18 years. Never seen the court, condone or approve of this, but we'll see what happens. But I'm just trying to exegete real quick that let this be a lesson to some women that men have bodies too. They have choices too. I think y'all overplay that whole, I carry the baby, I give birth, and, it should really be my choice thing. Men, as a dominant personality and just how they hunt, they resent being told what to do. So when you force someone to do something they don't want to do, you're going to get a reaction. And then y'all be like, oh, that's so sad. It's so sad that you also heard someone's request to not do something and you did it anyway. The problem with society is, and y'all do this with everything with men, y'all think that it only matters what the woman wants. It only matters how you feel. It only matters the consequences and the risk to you. Men have lives too. And though I may not agree with their actions, their results, their choices, as a man, and an alpha man at that, I understand the carnal and visceral response to someone trying to back me in the corner. I promise you, if you've ever told me, oh, do this or else, or tried to force me into something, you wouldn't like my response either.
Every day, Anthony Edwards shows us more and more that he is just a YN that made it to the NBA. First, the Barack Obama debacle, where he was talking to the Barack Obama like he was just on the street. Now he's man and told the judge, supposedly, allegedly, that he just wants to pay the 216 months up front for child support. He ain't even about to do this monthly. Boy, let me tell you something. The egg on my face if I was Aisha. And don't get me wrong, I feel like the baby is the only person that's suffering here, and I'm not happy that the child is going to be abandoned. But
let's be honest, the baby's suffering the most, but they will pay. They will pay. No one goes unscathed, you know, unless if you're a complete sociopath and you can live the rest of your life with your child having the trauma that you know you put them in. You know you participated in that, right, to an extent. Most people are going to pay to an extent. Who suffers the most is the child.
But at the same time, I have to respect this young man for standing on the business the way he is standing on business. And this is a cautionary tale while we be saying everything that God gives and babies are God's gift. Baby, sometimes you just need to let it go. Or cash in. Honestly, yeah.
We know it was all for money, and that's what makes this really, really sick. But there will come a time eventually when enough women are put on child support and enough men are fed up, and the ugliness of family court affects both men and women equally because, of course, modern women want equality. And at that point, when things change, my question is, what will women do at that point? When a man can alleviate, I really do believe this will happen. When a man can actually say, you know what, I can let go of the responsibility to be financially responsible for that child. And it could be proven that they both consensually participated, you know, in that sex to create that child. And he can decide to step back. There's going to be change in the future. When that happens, it's going to be a very sad time for women who lack self-control. And, you know, maybe they'll just all of a sudden finally be able to control themselves. And I'm talking about the ones who create the multiple broken homes and the ones who capitalize on the, you know, wealthy men. This will come to an end some way or another. We know that states are reimbursed. 66 cents on the dollar on child support, given bonuses, right, for good performance based on how aggressively and how efficiently they go after men who need to pay child support. Majority men. Yeah, some women pay. But it's majority men. And I think the craziest thing is that people assume that whole system, child support system, is just honest. And I mean, you know, uncaffeinated people, right? Just assume that like everyone's doing their job. Oh no, they're not forging the numbers and really reporting false numbers so that they could profit off child support. Oh, it has to be happening. How do we know? It's happening in other places where you'd expect it shouldn't and would be easily trackable. Yeah, this is a very unfortunate situation. Of course, guys, I'm curious to know, what do you think? Leave your comments down below. I appreciate you for checking out yet another episode of the Coffee Pod. Till next time, I'm out.
Like I said, give him a shout out, man. Check out his channel. His channel is dope. You know, he do drop knowledge. Mr. Zed, big ups to yourself, man. Please go and subscribe to him. Look, right now, boom, just subscribe. Look at that. Right there.
Yeah, Bridget,
fire.
fire.
My channels. But yeah, he's always dropping knowledge and stuff, man. I want to say something about that part real quick because I know
Go
we're gonna
ahead.
close out right now. When you really look into it, right? And I said earlier, I did say earlier, they're giving birth to broken homes, right? And that the child that feels the effects of this. I really meant that, right? Um, but also too, I want to be clear that we got to remember if the guy told you he doesn't want to have the child and you still want to have the child because it's your body and your choice, then you should burden the responsibility. I think that's only but fair. If we're gonna do my body, my choice, then let's be fair down the line, because it shouldn't be. You see, like how when a man say he doesn't want to have the child, but the woman have the child, so he has to pay responsibility. He has to pay child support.
Mm-hmm.
I I know women don't think it's fair when we say if the man wants the child and the woman doesn't, she still, if the man wants the child and the woman doesn't want to have the child, if he wants to, if he wants to have that child, she shouldn't be killing the child. She should have the baby, and like I said earlier, relinquish her rights. But if we're leaving it in a situation where it's her body, her choice, she can get rid of the baby, then guess what? The same way she can get rid of the baby, if she chooses to have the baby, he doesn't want to have the baby, she's holding herself, she's going to have to hold herself as responsible to take care of that child.
Wholeheartedly agree.
Wholeheartedly, right? Because I don't think that's fair that he told her, okay? He's like, I'm telling you, I don't want to have nothing to do with you. We don't know what their issue is or whatever happened between them. I don't want to have nothing to do with you. I don't want to have nothing to do with the kid. Blah, blah, blah. I'm telling you, don't have it. And her rebuttal to that was she's not going to have an abortion because she had one a few years back or something like that. And
Uh-huh.
she doesn't want to have, and she didn't like the experience. She doesn't want to go through that again. But then she decides to move to one of the most expensive states to have the child, mind you. LA, right? Shout out to LA too. She went over there to have the child because she knew the laws there. And then he went to move it back to. So you already see there that there's some kind of BS going on, and it's at the expense of the child. Literally. So I think, that needs to change. The system needs to change. The system is rigged. I think so.
Man.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's been rigged. It's been rigged
for a long time. And they know it's a money making machine because guess what? If you got broken homes, they're gonna produce more broken homes.
Yep.
That's what child support comes in at. And then when they popularize child support, especially if these IG models go out here and they IG and their ass up, and then they get caught up with a rapper or a entertainer or a athlete. Yo, these child support places make big money off of this. They make money off the small people. I can't even imagine how much they make off the big people. That's paying $20,000-$30,000 a month for child support. It's crazy.
That's insane.
It's insane, bro.
Bro, that's insane. That's insane, yo.
Yeah.
But here's my thing with it. Who in their right mind needs $40,000 as a child for well-being a month?
I don't think no child needs
Like,
that.
I understand the calculations for.
They're going to get according to the lifestyle.
Yeah. See, I understand wholeheartedly the salary and what you make and all of this, but bro, come on, bro.
It's like
40 grand.
It's like you didn't want to have the child, but the government is going to force you to pay for not only the child, but also pay for the woman that you didn't want to have the child with. And she know goddamn well she don't want the child either, but she wants that money. Let's not act like every woman is a good woman. Not every woman. There are good women out there. Let's get that correct. But not every woman is a good woman, and not every woman is meant to be a mother. Not every woman is meant to be a mother. And and some of these women that do this child support thing, they know it's about the money at the end of the day. Because even when you got good fathers, not all fathers, but when you got some good fathers that are wanting to take on the responsibility via, let's say, I want to take on the responsibility of raising my son. And if I try to do that, then there's an issue behind that because I'm not able to put wholehearted hands on there because let's say the person that I had the child with wants to keep the son for selfish reasons or for financial gain. Because let's say for instance you're paying child support and you're not paying that much, you still lose, the child is still losing because the child's not getting the bare essence of the father. Especially if you got a good father. Y'all two might not work y'all stuff out because y'all probably just don't, it just didn't work with y'all. Maybe she has an attitude that's not adjustable for the man, or maybe the man has an attitude that's not adjustable for the woman. But if this man's a good man and he's willing to take care of his child, I think that he should be granted that opportunity, especially if he's capable of doing it, and especially if it's the same sex. Like if it's a guy and he has a son with you, you should make the son go with the father. So the father could teach him the ingredients he needs to be a man, and not to think like his mother because he grew up around his mother this whole time.
Man, that's
you know,
fact. That's a bar. I wish more people thought that way, man.
Yeah, me too, bro.
And in the midst of popularizing child support, we have population control. Talking out of two sides of your neck, like this is the most insane, absurd, and nonsense making thing, bro.
Population control is so. That is such a bad thing, man. Like, just the thought of population control, and that's a whole nother rabbit hole, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it is. But I had to say it. I had to say it because it triggered something in me when you was talking about the popularity of the child support, and then we touched on population control earlier.
That contributes to welfare too.
That's what I'm saying. It's ridiculous, bro.
You know,
it's sick,
it contributes
man.
to the broken home. Because not only you collecting on welfare, you also collecting child support, but then also too you are growing up on you're growing into an unhingement from a young woman's perspective because you're a young woman. You're not a woman yet. You're still a young lady actually, right? But you had a child and now you got to play the role of a woman and you're still a child in the head, so you got arrested development. You understand? Like you got arrested development. So that's a problem right there within itself. You don't got the right ingredient to be who you're supposed to be, and you don't got no man there to have regulation around the household. You don't got the head of the house to regulate. So if there's not, you ever seen what happens when you have something that is not being regulated? What happens to it? It's like this: up, down, up, down, left, right, in and out. There's no regulation. You understand? So
environment is just all over.
Chaotic. It's chaotic. And then on top of that, if it's just you being raised by a woman, a mom, without a dad, the emotions, remember, if you don't got no regulator, your emotions can go from 0 to 100 real quick because you don't have no control. There is nobody regulating your emotions when you were a young child. So when you get older, you know how to control yourself and know how to talk to people, know how to have morals, know how to be able to respect yourself and respect others around you. Remember, those were the things men taught their children, real men. And nowadays, real men are considered toxic masculinity. You understand? And the only way they're considered to be real men if they emasculate themselves and start sounding like, you know, more feminized, like a Dwayne Wade or something. You know what I mean?
Man.
So
that's another hole too.
Yeah, boy, listen. I saw something the other day.
Hold on, is this episode worthy?
Oh no. We can talk about this next episode.
Oh, okay.
It's definitely next episode worthy because we could do a reaction video to that because he was just recently on a television show with his man purse talking about of course, you know, the LGBTQ and his situation with his son, daughter, or whatever you want to call her, and how he speaks. Like his mannerism is very feminized, and he talked about the 50-50 thing with him and Gabrielle Union, and you know how Gary Union wants to be in her soft girl era. I personally think because she's not famous like that no more. That's why
You
she
want to
went
be a
into
what?
soft girl era. Because in the beginning she wanted everything split down the middle. Because she was at that time when she was with Dwayne Wade, she was a celebrity still, meaning making money. But when the money dried up because the stardom ain't as stardom as it is anymore, now she falls back into this soft girl era, and still want to have control, but really don't have, but still want to have control. I can say she still want to have control because I believe she wears the pants in the relationship, and Dwayne Wade wears the skirt with his man purse. You know, I mean, the man was talking like he was like this, and he was talking with his mannerism very feminized, and he was going in his man purse talking to some other the other co-hosts. Like I got motherfucking toothpicks in here. I keep my nail files. I keep this, that. I'm like, this is Dwayne Wade, my nigga. Like, what did they do to you, man, to make you, you know what I'm saying? Like, first of all, it's hard for me to look at another man with respect if you were okay with your son becoming a woman. I just gotta say it like that. I just gotta put that out there. I can't. It's hard for me to do that. Brother. You understand? Because most men, I'm not saying all, but I know the men that I know, they will definitely feel a way. They will feel a way. They will feel like a part of them is lost because remember, this man's supposed to be carrying your legacy. He's supposed to be having the name carry on, and you having children. You know what I'm saying? Like no man walks around saying, yeah, my son just became a daughter, and you know what I'm saying? He's a girl now, and I gotta address him as a she. Nah, no, I'm sorry, no, and that's just me. I'm entitled to feeling that way. You understand what I'm saying?
Same.
I'm entitled to feel that way.
I second that.
You know what I mean? And what I mean by sorry, I'm not sorry like I'm sorry, but not sorry to that. I'm sorry, like meaning like, hey, I got no choice. This is how I am. Yeah. This is who I am. If that's who you are, this is who I am over here. I don't believe in that kind of stuff. I don't believe in that.
Each his own.
And honestly, I don't think no woman should be, especially if she's in care of my child, should be feminizing my son while I'm away on tour or out there playing all over the freaking country and damn near the world. And you got my son in your care, my son, which is your stepson, my son though, in your care, and you feminizing him. You letting him know it's okay to be a woman. And you know goddamn well he's not a woman.
That's that bull crap, man.
I find a problem with that.
It's child abuse.
Yeah, it is.
To me, listen, call me what you want. Say what you want. That is child abuse in the eyes and in the heart of me.
Facts.
Abuse. That is abuse. Just like on all these little TV shows and all this stuff, that's abuse, man. Mm-hmm. Children don't have their cortex, their frontal lobe. They're not matured enough to make that decision. Right. And you're forcing it. You're literally forcing it. You're introducing and walking them down a road that they were not meant to know about until they become of age. Now, if you become of age and you do your thing, but don't you dare introduce my kid to that crap.
To that lifestyle, man.
It's bull crap.
Lifestyle is not meant for that child to even know about that lifestyle until they're an adult. And
yeah,
when
man.
They're an adult, then they make their own decision based on their knowledge, whatever they've learned. You know what I mean? But no man is happy with that, knowing his son is feminized. No man is happy with that. I'm sorry. I don't know too many men that are happy with that. I know I wouldn't be. So I know, and I'm a man, so I know other men that are like, I don't know about that. You know, I ain't rolling with that. But that's where we are today in today's time. You know, shout out to Obsidian Glow, my empress. You know.
Greetings, sis.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, man, that's the times we living in. And Dwayne Wade, you know, he needs to do one of these numbers right here. Let me give you the meme for the day for his ass right here. He need to do this right here.
Stop it. Get some help.
Point blank. That nigga need help. I think he is in a sunken place. And I truly believe
In the trance.
I truly believe that's from Gabriel Union, man.
Man, look, I can tell you what it's from.
Yeah, that's a rabbit
Now
hole.
now
That's
no
a rabbit
disrespect. Now no disrespect to the City of Angels. I'm talking about
Nah.
Hollywood.
Nah,
And
that's the rabbit hole. That's what we was gonna talk about.
yeah. That's that Hollywood. That's that bull crap. You know, that's what they do out there, man. You know, and it's a lot of people that go astray.
Mm-hmm.
That go out there, the sunken city.
Mm-hmm. Yo, man. Listen, I never thought about moving to LA, and when I say that, I'm talking about the prices and stuff. And
Yeah.
I'm damn for sure never thought about going to Hollywood or being in any remote place of Hollywood. Anytime it's been a thing that they Hollywood comes out and they talk about, you know, it's great to be an actor, this, that, the other. I always say this right here.
A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit.
Yo, I've never seen that. I've never seen that. They caught me off guard, bro.
I would never partake in that. If I hear about any like family members that are up in there, I'm just gonna feel sorry for you. I know it comes with a price. Ask Baby or Diddy, because you know he's part of Hollywood, but he's on the musical end. You know, hey, it's I couldn't do it.
It's a different vibe right there, man. That's a different frequency.
There's some things that go
It's a
on
different
in Hollywood,
realm.
man. There's some things that go on in Hollywood, bro. You got to be on some shit like this.
Brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
You feel me? You feel me? You got to be on that type of time when it comes to them. So it's very unique when you see a person come from playing basketball, one of the most manliest sports besides football. And what are we doing now as a retired athlete? What are we doing? We got man purses on TV shows, pulling out stuff out of your purses, and this is what you walk with, and you got all these funny ass looking pictures, and you're like, okay, you ready to fight anybody that talks about your daughter? Like, come on, man. Come on, bro. You know he's gonna get older, right? You know he's gonna grow into himself. Unless they're doing child abuse, which I consider child abuse, which is gender affirming care for kids. I don't think kids should be getting any gender affirming care. I don't believe in that either, because you know they haven't according to science, they're not fully developed yet. You know what I mean?
The most non-debatable thing. You can't debate it. You can't negate it. You can't. There's nothing you can do, say to make it untrue. You can't. No, bro.
Man. No.
Nah, man.
No. Yeah, I remember when, and I'm gonna tell you, man, it affects everybody. That's why I say to you, as you know, you're a generation right behind me, and you have children now. You know, hold your kids tight, man. You know, hug your kids, give them all the love and care, and the affirming care should come from you, not the fucking school system, and not the goddamn hospitals, and that gender affirming, none of that shit. You are the affirmation and the care for your child.
You got that right.
It is a consistent attack on your child every single time your child
Every day
to the school.
Every day.
I remember when my kids came home and they was talking that the whole alphabet stuff, I was
I
like,
beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
facts, all day long. I excuse me. That's what they talking about in there now. That's where the money for the education system is going into. And if you don't abide by it, they don't give you no money for your school, no funding. Nah, man, we can't play those games.
Nah.
We can't play those games.
Yeah, we in the midst of home school. Yeah, this is getting out of hand.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting out of hand, bro. It's getting out of hand.
Exactly.
You're not forcing, bro. But here's the big thing, though. Is what got me. Like we talked about on the last show. Yeah, Holly Weird says big time. Like we talked about last time. There used to be a time my mom used to be able to come into school, pop up. She's sitting beside me all day. Can't even do that anymore. You're treated like a terrorist if you want to go into the school.
Yeah.
Like you almost got to sign a contract just to go drop lunch off to your child.
Yeah, that's
It's
the
nuts.
weird part. That's the
Yeah,
weird part.
man. Like, yo,
That's the weird part.
yo, like seriously, this is what we're doing now. It's so nuts, bro.
Yep.
But man, listen, folks gotta stay prayed up, man. Folks gotta, whoever they pray to, you know, and be right within yourself. Because like you said, it's a constant attack. But I tell you one thing. Leave me and mine alone.
Yeah, because that's who they come for. They go after the. And the unique thing about it is, if you're on the right side of the fence of history, and you have your household under control, because you're supposed to have control over your household. Let's not get that twisted. Don't let nobody psych you out and make you believe you're not supposed to be in control of your household. You are, because who else is going to be in control of your household? Somebody got to be in control. And who would you rather it be? Somebody else or you?
Come on.
All right. So don't fall for the false narrative. Have control over your household and your domain, and make sure that your family's protected. Like you said, prayed up, or whatever it is that people do to keep their family safe. Make sure you implement that, because guess what? It is needed more now than ever. We're about to go into a little bit more tighter times. You know, there's going to be a lot of rebellion going on because people disagree with the narrative of having girls run against girls. Hello. Having, you know, regular sex bathrooms, like men bathroom and women's bathroom, instead of having some bathroom where women can go into men's bathroom and men can go into women's bathroom. Those things are normal things, and we got to make sure and keep implementing that into our children's minds, because our children today are being born not understanding the morals. They don't understand the way the game is played. All they're seeing is confusion. And they think this is what it is because that's all they know. They were born into it. Just like I had a discussion the other day, and we're going to end in like about 5 minutes, right? Just like I was saying, the other day I had a discussion where you got to think about this, right? Our children are being born with the devices in their face. Okay? We at least had some playtime when we were kids. We went outside and we played. You know, we made up games on the spot.
I give thanks for my union.
Bro, I could take a pencil back in the day and make a game out of it.
Yeah.
You understand? Like, you gave me a ball, I literally can fucking come up with all kinds of tag. You throw the ball at the person, or you play handball. You know what I'm saying? You take the ball, play baseball. You play catch. It was so
man,
much.
back then you ain't even had laces on the football. Y'all had leather helmets back then.
You know what I'm saying?
No, let me stop. Let me stop.
Yeah. Hey, man, listen. Imagine if I was that motherfucking old. That's a good
yo. Man, you look good, brother.
Yo,
I'm picking with you, man.
Much love. hey, when you said that shit, I was like, what?
Huh? Drake?
Hey, no way in hell. But no, I get what you're saying. Like, you know, this is back in the day, man. Like, you know, we had more time to have fun. You know, like Sandlot or something like that. We have fun, but today the devices are shoved in the kids' faces, and along with agendas. Okay, that's why you got your cartoons, like you said earlier, and all the other mess that's coming with the devices. Now, kids, they gotta be sitting in front of something. They gotta be having their device in their face like this. Nigga, they're not even looking at you. They like this right now. They playing their game. You know what I'm saying? They playing their game. They're not even looking at you. You go in there, they doing this shit. And they go right back into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where it is, unfortunately. You know what I mean? And you don't get that one-on-one time because a lot of times the kids, and then think about it, when they grow up, they're not even going to really be keeping their head up. They're going to be on some shit like this.
Man, check me out, bro.
All day.
Check me out, though, Leo. So, bro, it's so many kids that I've dealt with in the past 3 years in my coaching career.
Mm-hmm.
They can't even look coaches in their eyes when they meet them, bro, shaking their hands. It's the most sad. Man. It's the saddest thing ever, and the parents are to blame because most parents are there, but they're not there.
They're not there, and their social skills is not being taught either.
No, man, and COVID effed a lot of stuff up too.
It sure did, bro.
COVID really effed, and it amplified everything.
Because let me tell you, I play. You know, you coached my son, man. You trained him up. You trained up my son. But here's the thing, right? Before COVID hit, my son was into football like that, and he was into football pretty good. I kind of slowed him down a little bit because of the CTE. I got caught up with that. I ain't gonna even lie, and I was worried about my son playing football after that. But COVID did a number. And when he decided to come back and play, after all them years that he sat out and he played his football when he went to high school, it just wasn't the same because now the people are not the same. Nobody really communicates like how they used to prior to COVID. More people are more passive about their communicational skills. So they lack communication skills, and a lot of high schoolers suffer from that because they were junior high school students at the time. Now they come into high school and they don't know how to talk to each other. They don't know how to communicate. They don't even know how to do things outside of they slide in DMs, bro. Think about that, okay? Let that sit in your brain.
Hey, hold on. I can't even laugh. I can't even laugh, bro. You got me. You got me. Because that's how my relationship started.
I'm just saying, look. Listen, but it happens, so you understand what I'm saying.
I know exactly what you said. But no, it's funny though. You're right.
It happened.
Yeah, man.
You know, we back in my day, we worked hard for our pay.
Well, y'all put in work, and
we had to have that game.
Salute you.
We had to have game,
and you a New Yorker too, so y'all got judged left and right.
You gotta know how to.
The boys is on your neck.
Listen, fortunately, I met another New Yorker. See, because you got to think about it. When you talk, you have to have some kind of game, and you got to be able to talk to women and get them to want to figure you out, to see what you about, because you came with something. You must have really have some really good game because you got me right now getting ready to go out with you. That's the kind of game men used to have. But they don't got to do that no more. All they got to do is slide in DMs. And to me, when I think about that, and it's even worse now, it's like, remember, catfish came out not too long ago. And when you meet some of these people online, you might be getting catfished. I put it to you this way. It leaves room for the craziest of craziest motherfuckers out there that is on Watchdog, that are right now online pretending to be a teenager in high school talking to an actual teenager. That's scary to me.
That's sick.
That's scary to me. Me and my wife used to watch this all the time. How to Catch a Predator. And that was back in the day. Could you imagine what kind of work they put in there now that they could just slide in DMs? And now you can make an AI face to look exactly like you, but younger or older, however you want to do with AI. Man, that's you inviting a whole bunch of craziness to happen. Right or wrong?
Man, that's That's deep. You're super right. That's tough, man.
And now bullying is on a whole nother level because you could make an AI porn and put a girl's face. If you don't like this girl, you could put her face on a woman's body.
And no one will know it's not real.
And no one knows it's not real. And you could shop it around high school. They do that. That's the times we live in right now. So, you know,
pure
up, man.
wickedness. Pure wickedness. Pure wickedness.
Yeah, for sure.
Past evil.
For sure.
Just wicked.
For sure. It is.
Folks watching this, man, listen, stay vigilant. Stay vigilant.
Yeah, man. Trust me, I'm sharing this out anyway.
Check on your children.
Definitely think that this should be heard.
Check their phones, their tablets.
Yeah, don't be afraid. Don't think, oh,
hell
you're
no.
my privacy. I don't give a fuck about your privacy until you are old enough to have your own.
Bingo.
Your privacy is my privacy.
And keep your door open.
For real. For real. I had to do that with my son. Keep that door open, man, and keep that door cracked. You got somebody, I don't mind you having a girl over here, you know, hanging out with you and stuff. Y'all playing video games or watching a movie or something, but keep that door cracked. You know, I ain't going, nah, not on my watch, buddy.
Not on my watch.
Nah, we're not doing that.
Not on my watch.
And it's crazy because I never had that with me as a child growing up. I didn't have that like fatherly figure to tell me, yo, control yourself, have some discipline. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to be wild with the dick. Have dick discipline for real.
Big time.
I didn't have that. You know what I'm saying? So it's important that I make him understand that. And it was a little culture shock for me because even me and my wife, we sit there and we were like, yo, you know, what we gonna do? What we gonna do? Like, how we handle this? Did this happen to you before? Nah, it happened to me. Did it happen for? Nah, it happened. You know what I mean? But we knew about it from on the opposite end. Like, I was a child in going to see a girl and being at her house and the parents is there and they don't even know I'm there. I was on that end. So me knowing that, now I'm an adult, I want to be able to make sure I'm balanced. I'm just going to deprive him because I already know what can happen because I did it. But I want to be balanced enough that he can have people over. He can have a girl over. He's old enough. But it has to be monitored because you're in my house. And if something happens, it's on my watch. You understand what I'm saying? It's on my watch, and it's on, and my wife will probably concur with that. She would agree with that right there. You know, it'll be on our watch. We're the parents. You know what I'm saying? So we had to adapt fast because we didn't know about that. Like, I didn't see that in full-time action because I damn for sure didn't have the girls having boys in their room when they were coming up underneath my house. You know, my daughters didn't have any boys in her room, and if they did, I think he was gay, I believe, and the other one, he was always downstairs. I never did know y'all in his room. So with my son, I had to I had to figure out a medium because I don't want him to feel like he can't have girls. You know what I'm saying? I want him to know he can have a girlfriend, but control yourself.
Right.
That's where the regulation comes in at as a man, to teach him to control himself. You know what I'm saying? And he is very picky. He's picky, you know, and I want him to be picky. Nigga, you supposed to be picky, son. I tell him that. Be picky. Don't just choose anybody just because they look good. There's plenty of them that look good, and they probably got miles on them, a whole bunch of miles on them, and they in high school. That's crazy.
It's sad. These young girls and boys out here burnt out now, man.
Yeah, he ain't had nothing yet, and I wanted him to be that way until he is out there. Once he get in, like, he's trying to go and do other things outside of, once he leave high school, his next level. When you get in that next level, take your time, because the person you find, you never know, that might be the person you might end up staying with. I mean, what happened to being optimistic like that back in the day? You know, you lose your virginity to the person you love, or the person you marry, or whatever. You know, why, you know, we lost our way when we were taught to just go out there and experiment. Go date this person, fuck that person. And
life force everywhere.
Your soul, bruh.
You literally giving away.
I realize that at an older age, you are giving away a part of your soul to somebody when you do that.
Literally, and it's attached with them. And people got to realize this now. People don't like thinking like this. That's with them forever. That
It
PCU
is.
was with them forever.
And according to science, especially if y'all, because a lot of them they do this thing without condoms now.
Oh,
They don't use rubber, bruh. And because they don't use rubber, guess what? Whatever semen is up in them, whether they think they cleaned themselves out or not, is still in there. Cause guess what happens now? Some of that goes on to whatever man that decides to have a child with you later on. Part of that person that you had sex with years ago is gonna be in that child. That is a scientifical proven fact.
that's deep there, boy.
You know what I'm saying?
Now that's what you call deep.
Yeah,
Oh
for
man,
sure, for sure.
that's
for
tough.
Sure,
That's
for
tough.
sure, for sure.
Hey man,
For
wrap it
sure.
up before you get the hiccups.
Yeah, man.
You don't want the hiccups, man.
Yeah, you don't want that problem. You don't want that problem. So it's embedded in me to make sure I teach my son that. And even when I talk to my other son, I tell him the same thing too. My other son didn't grow up with me. I participated in his care, and I try to be in his life as much as I could because it was entirely up to the court system with his moms and all that extra stuff. But when he was around me, I gave him jewels, and I always been giving him jewels, and I taught him a lot. To point now that he's an adult and he's able to recall some of the things I taught him. That means some of my words stayed with him. You know what I mean? And if I was given the opportunity that I asked for to have him fully, he'd probably be fully versed in it. Thank goodness he ain't had no child yet, so he was okay in some aspects to that point, but some of the fine-tuned ingredients he needed he didn't have. That's why I say it's important. You know, and there's brothers like me that have that same scenario, that they are a good guy, because I'm not a bad guy, especially when if I go toe to toe, receipt for receipt with the mother of my child on that. But you know, I don't let it fall to me, because I had another son, and with my other son, I learned a lot to keep me a little bit more balanced on when I talk about situations and experiences, especially from this aspect as a father and as a husband. And as a man, most importantly.
Yeah, man.
So
That's fire.
yeah, bro.
That's fire, man. That's fire, bro.
Yep.
That you get that opportunity, man. You know.
I had to get that,
Had
and I'm
that.
glad I did.
Yeah, man. That's
I don't
beautiful.
regret it.
And like I tell you all the time, man, I give thanks for our friendship, because I learn a lot from you. Not only by you dropping the dimes, right? The diamonds on me, but just by watching, you know, just observing and seeing and listening, and you know.
Yeah, man. Appreciate that. Much
Yeah,
appreciated,
man. And that's I don't take that stuff lightly, because I'm not used to seeing that, you know. I'm not really used to seeing that. And nor was I ever taught, do it this way, do it that way. Always had to make those mistakes on my own and trial and error. You know what I mean? Oh, this deja vu too. This is deja vu like a mug, dog.
It happens, bro. It happens, and the best part is the comeback, because now you know, and knowing is half the battle, right?
Yeah,
Joe. But
yes,
it's one of those things where you gotta, for me, and when you come to the stage, because it's gonna come eventually, you're right behind me, bro. So you're gonna, when you come into the stage where I'm at, as soon as you hit your 40s, you're gonna see exactly what I've been saying. Like it's gonna just hit you like, wow, like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Because that's the age of wisdom anyway, in your 40s. And for men, you come into your manhood really in your 40s. They say in your 30s, I still think you're still learning, because you're fresh off your 20s, and if you didn't have no father, that's even harder. You know what I'm saying? But in your 40s, if you haven't been developing yourself like you're doing right now, and you have been doing, if you're not developing yourself, you're not evolving, you're not opening your mind to even other men speaking to you, that you kind of can use some kind of, I would say, trust factor in, because it is in our nature to not trust anything. So when you come across other men that you can kind of trust, then you take heed to those words. By the time you go into your 40s, you'll be 10 steps ahead of the game to talk to the 30-year-olds behind you. You know what I'm saying? And then you can probably rewrite some of history. You know, you could rewrite somebody's DNA that can make them become a greater person to change their history of whatever they went through that they was deprived of. Which
That's what it's all about, there.
That's what it is. Each one teach one. You know.
Yes, and that's what. Listen, as you know, that's what I'm about, man. Progressive thinking, elevation, ascension. You know, and not being stagnant and comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, expanding, man. That's what it's all about, bro. And I tell anybody, listen, that's the way. That's the way. Like being stubborn and headstrong on the things that you were taught, you know, by your the people who raised you or your big homie. Like experience life for yourself. You know, get the bumps and bruises as you trotting along through the jungle. Embrace those thorns that scratch you, right? Because it brings about transformation, and through your own experience you learn, and then you'll be able to share that with the next person. Man, I love that. That's the biggest thing I can say through the past couple of years that I fully embraced and accepted. And you've helped me along the way in that, like I said, watching and just our conversations and you know the reasons we have, and a lot of other good brethren as well, man. You know, I just hope more people can awaken to that, to really, you know, start living their truth instead of pleasing others, and
Mm-hmm.
you
That's
know what
why
I mean?
I feel we should have like that's why I was saying this is gonna expand more. I want it to expand more. We're gonna have a lot more stuff to talk about. We're gonna have a lot more people on here. We should at least have like 5, 6, 7 brothers on here. We might even have sisters on here from time to time. It is a Kingsman court. It is, you know, it's mostly a space for men to congregate and build and learn and build from each other. But it is no problem with a woman joining the panel just to even converse with us about it. Because let me tell you something. Even though there is a gender war going on, there are women out here that are using logic and they're using their brain. They have emotions, but they know how to balance their emotions and use logic as well. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's all we're trying to do is just bring common sense back, make common sense popular again. Because now right now we're living in a world of nonsense, and if we don't go right back to common, you know, it's going to be a problem. Because people are saying, well, common sense is not too common these days. You're right. We got to go back to common sense. That's the only way we're going to get to the higher sense, and we know what that is when you get to the higher sense.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? So we got to come out of nonsense. We're in nonsense right now. We're in the stage of nonsense. Yeah. The shit you see on TV, nonsense. The things you hear on the radio, nonsense. The movies you see, nonsense. You know, we gotta come out of that and go back into common sense. And then when we hit common sense, and everybody start realizing what is common to society and common to life, then we can start talking about the higher sense. And then we ascend. You know,
yes, sir.
Start to ascend. But we're not there yet. We're not even on first. We're not even on first base, which is the damn.
The world the society dwells in the root chakra.
Yeah, man.
Just say that.
Exactly.
Just say that.
You know, so. Yeah, man. But it was a great show.
Man, it was fire, bro.
It was a great show.
This was fire. It was well needed. It was long overdue.
Yeah, man. Yes.
No.
Yes.
Real Leo.
Yes.
Back live from the 7-5.
Yeah, man. And I chose to just do this platform here. My other platform, I got, you know, people on there, but I want this platform to be a whole different space of a platform where a multitude of people can come on here and talk. You know, we just have, so it's just me and you right now, but shit, I'm making sure that this is gonna expand to have more people on here. And if you know people, you want to bring them on, by all means, bring them on to the channel, and we can have our discussions like this. I play some music in the background, make it not to be an ambient kind of thing. And we could also look at videos, man, and give our, because that video I saw there, that was the first time I saw that. I like reacting to things in real time, you know, so, you know, I hear about stuff and then I'm like, all right, I gotta go look this shit up. But
and you be putting me on too, man, because I told you I've been out of touch lately, been so busy.
Yeah, man.
You know, with life. But I'm thankful, grateful, because you definitely keep me sharp. You know what I mean? But yeah, and it'd be a breath of fresh air too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, getting different insight, man, and that's what a lot of brothers need more of. Man. Like I said, just being stuck in our ways and
Yeah,
not wanting to
man.
hear another brother's opinion, right? Like, and just hearing what another guy has to say. You
Yeah.
know, I feel like we are in a time where that paradigm is shifting. But just like anything, you got some
Yeah.
people that just stay stuck, man. And my wish, I just hope that everybody can experience this life a different way. It's another way, guys. It's another way. And like Leo said, yeah, it's a multitude. We need to get to that higher sense,
Mm-hmm.
right? Collectively,
Yeah, collectively.
because we there. You know what I mean? I
Yep.
know I'm there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
Same here.
yeah, we're definitely there. But
Collectively.
yeah, this is fire, and I'm gonna hold you to that, man, for sure. Get the brethren up here, man. We kick it,
Yeah, man. I don't
vibe
know what
out,
happened to Jet. Jet
man.
fell out.
Jet be
Brother
tapped.
KJ.
Hey, Jet fall asleep and drop him down. I love
I
my
know,
cousin.
man. I know. I know. It happens. It happens, bro. It happens.
He had
But
a
yo,
long day
hey,
though.
we do have to get him up on here. We also at some point in time. I know we gotta get churchy up on here.
He home till Sunday. He got a gig till Saturday and Sunday in
Wow,
DC.
in DC.
Yeah, he got a gig. He got in DC, but he'll be here until Monday.
Yeah, we gotta get him on the show, man. At some point
Yeah,
in time,
man.
get him on the show
Sure.
when he slowed down and he relaxed. Get him up on here, and some other people, whoever else is wanting to join. Hey, we got a lot of people that we had at the over there at
The unit, man. I look. I'm the group chat guy. I'll start a chat quick. You just let me know.
Yeah, right now for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. We got to do that. We got to do that. And
Absolutely.
get some guys up on here and start to having some real good discussions and stuff like that, and sharing ideas. And like I said,
Yeah,
the
man.
Kingsman, it is the Kingsman court, and that's what it's about. It is a court. We holding court, and that's pretty much what we doing. Getting shit together and try to be figuring out the root to the problem. Like I said, this is a gender war that we're in, and how we're going to pull ourselves through that is gaining knowledge and being able to stand 10 toes down and realize what kind of war we in, so we can be able to win this war. And I'm not saying win the war like we're conquering or we're killing or we're doing anything like that. It's just winning the war of the mind.
Yes, I.
You
Come on.
understand? And that's what it is going on right now. This war is bigger than just a gender war. I titled it gender war, but it's way bigger than that. It's the war of the mind.
Yes, I. That's beautiful, man. Hey, well put. Because I'm so glad you gave that. You just said that. Because I feel like a lot of people will see that and immediately jump to conclusions.
Mm-hmm. That's why I titled it, because people get triggered by it, but when you look into it and you understand, after a while you will see that this is not just us sitting here bashing women and women ain't shit, we ain't doing none of that.
Salute to all the queens out there.
Salute
to the queens out there. Salute to all the women out there.
Stand 10 toes down
for sure.
Being an actual woman and understanding
for sure
what it is to be a woman and a mother and a wife and whatever it is that she desires to be. Standing 10 toes down on that and not trying to step on on people's toes, nor emasculate the men that are around them. Shout out to
Come on, man. Where the horn at, man?
Real,
hey,
right?
That's
right?
fire.
That horn right there.
That is fire, bro.
Yep.
That's fire, man. Salute to the sisters that's supporting their men, and elevating together.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Man, ain't no one man band.
No, it's not. All hands on deck, and especially when we're dealing with the situation we got, which is not only the emasculation, but we're also dealing with population control. So if we're dealing with population control, that plays a role in this gender war, because if you have the two genders fighting against each other, they ain't trying to reproduce. So, you know, we gotta get this thing right. That's why I said this is called a gender war. So we gotta be able to fix this thing and get to the root of the problem. You know what I mean? And now we know the root of the problem. Now it's up for the problem to understand that it's a problem and it has to fix itself.
First step to get better. You gotta realize you gotta get better.
Yeah, man.
You gotta have that awareness.
Hell yeah.
Discernment. You know? Man. Hey, brethren. I salute you. I salute you, King. Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings, King. All right, everybody. It was a good show we had. Nice rocking with you, Eli.
Yes, sir.
Blessings, everybody. Till next time.